everyone. How's everybody doing this morning? Fantastic. It's a beautiful day outside. Welcome to the Center of Unity. We are free of judgment and full of love, which means you are exactly in the right place where you're supposed to be this morning. If you're joining us online, we want to say welcome to you as well. If you'd put an emoji or something in there, let us know that you're joining us this morning. That would be fantastic. I had kind of an interesting week this week. I got some kind of not great news. It wasn't bad news, but it wasn't what I was expecting this week. It wasn't what I was expecting. And so I started dwelling on that. I started dwelling on it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. And I was like, you're not really as good as you thought you were. Or, there's a bunch of other people that are really a lot better at this than you are. And I got to tell you, by the end of the week, I was in a funk. By yesterday, has anybody ever done that? I was in a funk. We had friends call us and want us to go out to dinner last night. Good friends. And I'm like, I don't really like them. Never really have. Never really liked them. And Amber said, what is the matter with you? And I realized, you know what? I had planted this seed all week long. I had programmed myself all week long. And so that was what I got. When what we put through our brains, what we program is what we get. And so this morning is Sunday morning. And just like when Jesus walked over and Lazarus was dead in the grave, he was dead in the grave. And they said, Lord, he's dead. He stinks. He's been there so long. And Jesus said, no. Go roll away the stone. Go roll away the stone. And he called him out. He said, Lazarus, come on out of that grave. And he walked out of that grave, out of the darkness into the light. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. I'm going to lay off that funk that I had all week long. And I'm going to walk out of that darkness into the light. And I'm going to invite you to do the same thing this morning. So why don't you stand up on your feet? We're going to walk out of that darkness into the light this morning. Lori, get us started. Buried underneath the lies that you believe.
Okay, hi everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? All right, so it's great to have everybody here, all of our friends, all the familiar faces, and new people that are here too. We're so grateful to have you here. Today we're having a little bit of a special service. Every service is special, but today our local licensed Unity teacher, GiGi Johnson, and I are going to be doing a presentation in honor of Black History Month. So we're just going to have a little conversation. You guys sit in and enjoy, and we're going to have a great service.
All right, we got one more song for you. Let's get it ready. Does Ziggy need to turn the pages for you there? All right.
Would welcome me. I was lost, but he brought me in. Oh, his love for me. Yes, his love for me. Who the sun sets free, all is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, His grace, it runs deep. While I was a slave to myself, Jesus rescued me. Yes, he rescued me. Who the sun sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I against me. I am who
today, well, first of all, I'm Sue. I'm on the care team, and this is Ellen. She's on the care team. This is GiGi, LUT. And the word for today is faith. I carry my faith in God with me throughout the day.
I keep my faith at the forefront of my awareness, taking a few minutes in the morning to pause, breathe deeply, and place my awareness on the presence of God. I feel energized and strengthened. I expect all good things. As the day progresses, I pause again for a moment or two and affirm, God and I are one. I have faith that God, my source, is with me in everything I do, say, and think. At night, I look back on the events of the day and savor the moments in which God's presence felt especially strong. I have faith that awakening from a restful night's sleep, hearing a kind remark, enjoying time in nature, or spending quality time with a loved one are ways to feel the presence of God within and around me.
And from 1 Chronicles 23:30, and they shall stand every morning thanking and praising the Lord, and likewise at evening. And Elaine and I will be available in the prayer room right after services for about 15 or 20 minutes for anyone who would like to have special prayer. And this is the time that we take in our service to pray for the healing of any person, situation, illness, whatever may be coming up for individuals, for people that are being held in our prayer box. So if you will all take a deep breath, let's go inside. Go inside to your heart center. Let yourself be drawn there. And you can let your thoughts go to the people that are situations or events in your own life, in the lives of others that need healing. Focus on that and see from your heart the light of love coming out almost like a golden highway toward those situations, those people, those events in our personal lives, our community, our country, and the world. Let us affirm healing. Let us affirm love and peace, prosperity, contentment in all of these situations. And we know that it is true, and we say amen.
We're not real drummers. We just pretend to be.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, good morning, Gigi. I'm doing great. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well now.
All right.
I know y'all can't hear me, but just give me a minute.
All right. Well, cool. Oh,
Back,
go ahead.
back in the day when you went to church, the church ladies always had a little white handkerchief they put over their knees. Y'all don't know anything about that. Anyway, here we are.
Yes, here we are.
And let's light a candle. Lighting a candle just sort of sets the mood for something pure. Don't you agree? You can say, y'all can talk back.
Yes, yes. We encourage y'all to talk back. That's how it's done where we come from.
Yes, yes.
All right. So yeah, it was Gigi's idea. You know, we wanted to have a little conversation today. Besides just going over Black Americans and their contributions to inventions and various other institutions in our country, we thought it'd be good to have a conversation about how we, in particular, came to unity and how the Black church has moved, or many Black Americans have moved from the traditional Black church to unity thought.
And the reason why.
Yes, yes, and also the source of our spirituality before we came to America and how that relates to
Exactly.
unity.
I can't wait to hear your talk on that.
Absolutely, thank you.
So, Black folk moved to New Thought for a reason. And first of all, let's just get on the same page with what New Thought is. New Thought goes back as far as Phineas Quimby. And those of us in Unity know that name, Quimby. He was an American folk healer, mentalist, and mesmerist. You'll understand that mesmerist in just a moment. His work is widely recognized and foundational to New Thought and the spiritual movement. Now, let's go even further back than Quimby. Go back as far as Franz Mesmer. That's where Quimby got his teaching from. He was a German physician with an interest in astronomy. He theorized that the existence of a process of natural energy transference occurring between all animate and inanimate objects. So essentially, this is what New Thought is. God, there's this belief among all of us in unity that God is supreme, universal, and everlasting. That's number one. There are four. Number two, divinity dwells within each and every person. We're all spiritual beings. Number three, the highest spiritual principle is, I bet you can guess it, starts with the L. Love. The highest spiritual principle is love. Love for everyone. Every single one of us is representative of God, which is love. And finally, this one, they're all important. This is the biggie. They're all big. I'll just say it. And listen, our mental states are carried forward into manifestation and become our experience in daily living. I wish I had known that way back then.
You and me both, Gigi.
Right? So Matt, my brother and I, we were brought up in the African Episcopal Church.
The AME, yes, we had some of
African
those.
Methodist Episcopal Church. And I have fond memories of my grandmother taking us to church. However, as I got older, you know, there was this something that seemed to be lacking. I didn't know what that was. There was a lack of an encounter, a real experience with God, a connection, a firsthand experience, the mystery, the miracle, and the wonder of God. Also, the tangible manifestation of goodness in terms of financial prosperity in our household. We had very little. We were just downright poor. Lived on a dirt street. I remember my grandmother coming from having done some house cleaning, and the taxi that brought her home, or the ladies that she worked for brought her home, and their cars got all dirty driving on that dirt street after it had rained. I have these memories. And if there had been a Unity Church in Wichita Falls, that's where I'm from, I believe through the teachings, we would have had a better life experience. The reason is because we would have had a mind shift. We would have had a spiritual awakening. So this is what I want to share about the spiritual awakening. Let me get to the right page here. I'm supposed to be organized up here. So this is really what I want to say about that. Daddy Grace, the reason, first of all, that our Black American brothers and sisters were attracted to New Thought is because they wanted a better life for themselves. And there's a lady by the name of Kate Bowler. She's a well-respected scholar of the prosperity gospel. And she has written that in 1920, 1930s, a small but significant number of Black Americans drew from the New Thought and the metaphysical gospel in the urban North, primarily Chicago and Detroit. Bowler writes that metaphysical gospel spread in the urban North from leaders like these gentlemen that you see on the screen. Sweet Daddy Grace, Prophet James Jones, Father Divine, and later on, Reverend Ike. I used to remember hearing about Reverend Ike, not so much about the others. These preachers promised, we can go to the next slide, please. These preachers promised to smooth the rough edges of capitalism and industrialism with theologies that countered poverty, disease, and despair. Who wouldn't want a life change if that was the promise, right? So whatever these prosperity gospels were talking about, then Black folk were on board with that. Let me have some more of that kind of teaching.
Yes.
So, according to Bowler, there was this cross-pollination of New Thought. So there was the Pentecostalism, African traditions that asserted the importance of materialism, prosperity, and religious access to what? The good life. Prosperity theology, Matt, in African American religion was prominent by the 1970s, and by the 1990s had led to an emerging generation of Black prosperity preachers. They reflected on that gospel. So Matt, I'm interested in knowing, how did you come to New Thought, not only New Thought and Unity, but also take us back a little bit further in our African roots, pre-Christian knowledge, philosophy and beliefs, as well as its alignment with New Thought and ancient wisdom.
Okay, well, yes, I'll do my best. All right, so I'm going to start with a couple of African words. The first one is Sankofa. And as you see up there on the screen, the symbol for Sankofa, you may have seen it many places and may not have known what it is, but it's a bird that's walking forward, but yet looking back. And this word comes from Ghana, and it loosely translates to go back and fetch it, or go back and get it. It comes from a proverb about a beautiful bird, a beautiful bird amongst her flock. Her plumage was so beautiful, the colors were so radiant, and her body was just in proportion to everything, and all the birds in other flocks looked up to her like she was it. You know, so she was all of that, a bag of chips, as we used to say. Right? So she decided one day that she was going to go out into the world and explore what there was out there. So she flew and finally came across a new community, a new flock of birds. And when she landed there, she was expecting the treatment that she was used to. But instead, she was sort of looked down on, like, okay, who are you, and why do you have those colors, and why do you look that way, and oh, we don't know if we want you around. And so that beautiful bird, feeling dejected and rejected, she flew home to her flock of origin. And the other birds amongst her home flock, they were so sad about how in despair this bird was. She wasn't the same as before she went out. So they got together and they decided that they were going to remind her of all of the things that made her special, all of her ancestors and all of the struggles and the efforts that they put in to make her who she was. And after this treatment, she realized, her real worth. So in summary, Sankofa is about, it's saying that there's nothing wrong with looking back. Even though you're going forward, there's nothing wrong with looking back to where you came from to move forward. Now, last year during Black History Month, I spoke a little about my personal and spiritual awakening and how that involved educating myself about Black history and where we were before we came to this country. See, I was raised in the Southern Baptist Church, along the same traditions as Martin Luther King. And I was taught to have pride in our incredible faith and everything that it took to endure 246 years worth of subjugation. Today we would call it human trafficking on a mass scale. In Africa, they call it the Ma'afa, and that loosely translates to the catastrophe, which is what we know as the Atlantic slave trade. And I don't even like to call what we were slaves. I like to call us prisoners of war. Exactly. Okay? It makes a difference in the way that you think about yourself. So I was never taught anything about our faith before Christianity. Because of societal messages, we were not encouraged to look past that veil. When you were, I remember in school, kids talking about their heritage, I'm from Scotland and this is a kilt that I have, or I'm from this particular region. But for me, when that came up, all I had was images of like the old Tarzan movies and things like that, and that was not really anything that we wanted to relate to. There was nothing to look at but, just primitive society and backwards pagan beliefs. But many of you know Reverend Michael Beckwith of the Agape International Chapel. He uses a phrase that I like, and his congregation does come out of the same New Thought movement as Unity does, but he likes to call it New Thought Ancient Wisdom. And I didn't realize that African people around the continent believed in one God and one power in the universe. And much of that's been misrepresented as worship of many gods and that type of thing. But they really had a sophisticated understanding of the laws and principles that govern our existence. The Nubians of East Africa, for example, they birthed the ancient Egyptian culture, which, most people think of Africa, they think of the pinnacle as the Egyptian culture, which, they had a lot to contribute to the world. But they came from the Nubian society, the land of Cush, depending on what time in history it was. The Cushites of the Bible that you might have remembered. They had a culture that highlighted the interconnectedness of science, religion, and spirituality. They used art and moral codes to connect with their creator. Even before Galileo invented the telescope, the Dogon people of West Africa, they knew about Saturn's rings. They knew that Jupiter had 4 major moons and the planets that revolved around the sun. They discovered and charted the path of a star that was invisible to the naked eye. Its existence was only proven when it was photographed by Western astronomers in 1970. So they had, we had so much to contribute. And then there's the Yoruba people of Nigeria, which I've been able to trace my roots back to. They believed in universal energy and that you could speak and affirm things into existence. So it's just nice to know that in America, even as a fundamentalist Christian, there are other cultures that we look to and admire for their spirituality. There's the Native Americans that we look at and we admire their spirituality, or the Hindus, or various other people around the world. Even if we don't agree with it or believe in everything, we give reverence to that spirituality, and it's just nice to know that that we had something to refer to from where we came from. So last year I talked about the word ashe, which is sort of a threefold word. It can be used at the end of a prayer, like amen, something you say at the end of a prayer, amen, you would say ashe. It's also used to refer to the energy in the universe that connects us all. In Indian culture, it's called prana. In certain Asian cultures, it's called chi. But in that culture, it's called ashe. It's the energy, the force, if you will, that connects everything. And then there's the third meaning, ashe, the power to speak things into existence, to affirm things into existence, which, as we see, is very compatible with what we believe in and practice in unity.
Yes, the essence of the spoken word is divine power, wisdom, infinite creativity. It's a faculty of God given to each and every one of us. Now, let's go into a moment of silence that brings us into our divinity that each of us knows. Relax by simply closing your eyes or focusing on something pleasant in the room. Always lower your shoulders because we are holding tension that we are even unaware of in this moment. So lower your shoulders away from your ears and breathe. We're going to take 3 collective breaths together, uniting us even in our breathing. Breathe in and exhale. Let's do that again. Breathe in and breathe out. We are present in this moment. We can feel the weight of our body on the seat. We feel the air circulating around us. Breathe. Whatever thought, feeling, or image that may come to your mind, let it be. Its appearance does not distract you from this moment. Treat that thought, feeling, image, like a cloud, and simply watch it pass away. No need to hold on to it. You're not identified by anything. Not anything, materialistic or otherwise. There is no thing that's worthy of keeping in this moment. It, like the clouds, will simply fade away. It'll fade away one day, but you are pure spirit in form. You will never fade away. Your mind is your servant, not your master. Remember that. Notice that you're not striving in this moment. You're not creating anything. And there is nothing to control. Nothing to change. Breathe. Love, peace, and serenity is your essence. You are the stillness in the midst of chaos. You don't even have to believe that, just know it. And know that all is well. Know that we are all one. Breathe. Slowly and gradually bring your attention back to this time and space. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, and when you're ready, open your eyes. Now, I do hope that you learned a little something different about African Americans and our journey into New Thought. But more than that, I hope you know and recognize that only in our humanity are we separated by race, creed, color, sexual orientation, or anything else. Truly, we are all one at the core of our being. Ashe and amen.
Ashe. All right, welcome, Noel.
A song that is so very precious in the African community. I want to just say this one thing about the song she's about to sing. This song, oh my gosh. Now I'm going to have you do some homework. I want you to look up the origins of Amazing Grace, because it was a song. The words were created by the man that you're going to research and find, but the melody came from the crying out of a slave man. We're not calling ourselves slaves. What are we calling ourselves? Prisoners of war.
Prisoners of war, yes.
In the belly of a slave ship, though. And what he heard, this slave this ship owner was for so many hours. And he put to music this song, but the way that it's sung, oh my God, it will grab you in your heart. So listen to this song and know that the melody, although we have the unity rendition, the melody comes from a groan.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God and Spirit ransom me, and like a flood, His mercy rains, unending love, amazing grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now found, was blind, but now I see. 'Cause my chains are gone, I've been set free. My God and Spirit ransom me, and like a flood, His mercy rains, unending love, amazing grace. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God and Spirit have ransomed me, and like a flood, His mercy rains, unending love, amazing grace. When we've been there,
Okay, so this is the part of the service where we call to ask for you to share of your good. I affirm open channels of flow of abundance coming and going within our community. We have many ways to give. You may donate via text, come up here to donate. We have many ways for you to share. So as we share our divine good and affirm our connectedness, our unity, and our love, we pray that divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Father and Mother God. All right. And for today, as we call you up for offering, we're going to share a song that I'm used to hearing when I was growing up. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Hello, everybody. If you're watching us for the first time, we're glad you have chosen to join us. We invite you to visit our website and fill out the Connect card. And if you're watching locally, we invite you to visit in person. If you're visiting us in person for the first time, please complete a visitor card found in the pew pocket in front of you and drop it in the box at the back of the sanctuary on your way out. And now it's time for the appreciation. Christmas seems long ago now, but up until this past Thursday, we still had massive amounts of decorations jammed into our storage room. And this made it difficult for the AA group to access their equipment and impossible for us to store anything extra. Keith Bailey, our volunteer handyman, had it on his list, but with a full-time job and lots of grandkids, he only gets here when he has some free time. The call went out to Mark Morris and Kenny Green, answered by taking time out of their day to come and bring Christmas to the attic and the shed, and completed other odd jobs in the bargain. Seeing the storage room with more space feels good, and the ability to rearrange and store other things is a relief. But please don't put anything in there without checking with Mary or Linda first. So with more gratitude than we can express, to Kenny and Mark, we say, we love you, we bless you, we truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Namaste.
Here's what's coming up at Center of Unity.
Our Youth Ed is organizing a stuffed animal drive from February 11th through March 31st. First responders use these animals for children during moments of distress. Donations should be new or gently loved and no larger than 12 inches. Please bring your stuffed animals to the sanctuary where they will be loved on by you until they are delivered to the kids in need. We're collecting gently used books that will be available for a love offering at our Body, Mind, Spirit Fest. Please leave donations in Fellowship Hall. All proceeds go to benefit our general fund. We're hosting a Body, Mind, Spirit Fest here at COU on Saturday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We anticipate having many exhibitors offering such things as healing sessions, readings, lectures, products, food trucks, and much more. We'll need lots of volunteers, so save the date to not only volunteer, but to attend. And for a limited time, tickets are buy one, get one free. So visit the COU website or app to take advantage of this great offer. Join LUT GiGi Johnson in Fellowship Hall for Membership 101 on Sunday, March 10th from noon to 1 or 1:30. During this class, you will learn more about the Unity movement in general and Center of Unity in particular. Sign up from the COU website or app and pick up your membership manual at the church. There are multiple ways you can make a donation to Center of Unity. You can drop your donation off at the church, mail it to our P.O. Box, visit our website, or use the COU or Venmo app. Your continued support is greatly appreciated.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us this week. This was wonderful. Matt and Gigi, thank you so much. That was fantastic. Noelle, wonderful, wonderful job. Ziggy, thanks for joining us this week. You were fantastic. And I think we're going to sing our but we might need an organ, Bob. I like that Grand Caravan thing that was going on. Can we do an organ on this one? There we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let's do it one more time. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
All right, good morning, everybody. All right, so the kids, younger kids heard about their father's house, and Jesus feeding the 5,000, and I've forgotten what the older kids did today, but they'll share what they did. So here you go.
Today we drawed what God's house looked like.
Because God's house is everywhere, so where do you feel God? All right. Huh?
Today we drew our families and how we can be affected by our family.
All right, there you go. Thank you.
All right, so we're looking forward to seeing each of you back next week. So before we go, why don't we all stand up? Let's join hands, and we're going to do our peace song together.
As we all come together in this space of love and joy and just love. Yes, exactly. We affirm our interconnectedness and our unity as we give our prayer for protection. This time at the end, I'd like to hear a real big ashe. All right. We'll do a call and response. So I'm going to say, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Ashe. Amen.